Is the West punishing India for becoming too close to Russia and of the Chinese blocs? The question is that why such a suspicion came to the minds of people wondering why Indian financial meltdown occurred when India is growing at a very rapid pace. There is an interesting similarity between two situations. Think about how Chinese Communist Party or the Chinese government nudges its people to visit small friendly islands, thereby improving their tourism. How it nudges directs people to travel to friendly countries. How tourism becomes a tool of diplomacy. How, for that matter, how Russia sends tourists to Turkey and Russian relationship, and they are thereby manageable. So that is how things go in that way. The governments are not directly involved in Indian or any financial intervention of a different country. But the thing is that that is not all. Like China can ask its tourists to visit a certain country, America is definitely doing it in its own way. It doesn't want its tourists to select a particular country. It wants its financial institutions to select a particular country. It wants a very committed friendship. It is an extremely possessive country that it wants that if you are a friend, if you are a friend only to America and no one else. It wants that if you are a friend to America, you forget about your boards, you forget about your culture, you forget about your history, you forget about your stability, and be a friend to America. Otherwise, what? There is a twist. Otherwise, there would be consequences. The financial institutions would stop investing in your country. While I see America, it is the leader of the whole world, the whole Western world. When America doesn't want your power to grow, Canada tells that Indian government is involved in murder of its citizens. Then Japan puts a sanction because Indian companies aided in Russian war. Then an European country comes and it states something that demeans Indian business. The thing is that from the outset, it may look like that India and the United States and the West, being the democratic countries, are natural friends. But friends, they are not. They have a very time tested way of influencing the world. That is a collaboration, a sinister collaboration when a country shows the green shoots of independence. I don't say it is political sovereign independence. I say independence in terms of making decisions, in terms of how to settle its borders with its neighbor, in terms of how to control its territory, in terms of its sovereign financial decisions, in terms of its business decision, in terms of its politics. Then the West does it in a very unique way that needs to be studied. It wants it's the weakest link with that particular country to rebel. It may nudge the neighbor of a country to rebel. They may show dissatisfaction. They may ask particular financial institutions to withdraw from their from the country of concern. They may question the credibility of the country of their concern. They may say that democracy is not working there, religious freedom is not working there, and they may go in such a collaborative manner that India is facing it now. Try to understand why India attracted so much of investment from 1919 to 1924 was that because every Western country considered that the dispute between India and China were irreconcilable situation where a point of breaking has come and there was no return of normalcy. So they thought that let us pamper India through investments, pamper India through visits, pamper India through welcoming this political executive to the countries and capitals and with lavish treatments. But India was not to be mesmerized by those treatments. India found its own way to take peace with China, to get and to uh, uh, to enhance the friendship with Russia. Then the question comes: if India did a good balancing act, the answer would be you can find. Did it take a good decision by going with Russia? Or not ditching Russia in times of Russo-Ukraine war? First thing first. Russo-Ukraine war is a war of a different sphere. Russia, being the hegemon of that country, should decide what happens around it. And the West shouldn't play or shouldn't try to play a larger role in the borders of Russia. West is taking it in a selective amnesia of history. You must take a note that when Germany was to be defeated, it was first the USSR, the Russian forces that entered into Germany, paying a heavy cost in the World War II. Don't forget your history. And what happened? When the international community at the West posed sanctions upon Russia, Russia grew better than the previous. That goes to say that yes, India did a fabulous job by selecting not to antagonize Russia at the time of war with Ukraine, not to take strong sides against Russia, and continued friendship and cooperation with Russia. It was in the national interest of India. But the West realized, specifically the border agreements with China, after the border agreements with China, recent, that India goes on its own way. That is why the financial institutions start withdrawing from India. And the government of India possibly understands that. It is not a subject that needs to be discussed at the public meetings. But anyone can guess what is happening. Thank you.